Hi everybody, I'm attorney Chameleon, and I'm an attorney based in New York. And from time to time, I get to sit down here and make a video about something of interest to me, specifically tort law. And today I want to talk to you about access to justice. You know, there's a lot of people out there that would say that because you're filing a lawsuit, it's frivolous, or because you're filing a suit, you're money hungry. And the real question that needs to be posed is why? Why file the lawsuit? The answer is not so clear, but I'll give you a little bit of perspective into it. When you're faced with medical debt, you're missing paychecks from work, you don't walk the same, your back doesn't feel the same, life changes for you. When you're injured, you're hurt, life keeps on moving. So the same person that might say that, well, this person's filing the suit, it's frivolous, or that they're money hungry, isn't faced with those same situations that you're experiencing. You see, what happens is when you're in that position where you can't move the same, the idea of a lawsuit seems like a very viable option. It feels like something to do, the next big step. And that's because that phrase that you hear, see you in court, you always hear someone say, oh, I'll see you in court. That's no longer about revenge, but it's more so about survival. But here's the other thing, this thing about justice. We all hear about, I deserve justice, or they deserve justice, whatever. Justice isn't free. Ladies and gentlemen, justice is not free. It costs. It costs to fight. It costs to litigate. It costs to have an attorney. Whether it's money or time, it's going to cost you. There's fees, there's filing fees, there's court fees, there's fees for experts, there's fees for experts' reports after the expert did their job. All that costs. And when you're thinking about it, you have to ask, well, who's going to pay all these fees, right? Who's going to pay those fees to litigate? Who's going to move this case forward, right? Who's going to help me get justice? And oftentimes, it's an attorney. And certain kinds of attorneys, specifically personal injury attorneys, they get kind of a bad rep, right? Because they're associated with being someone who's an ambulance chaser, right? And if you guys don't know the term ambulance chaser, basically, it's an attorney. After you get hurt, they essentially prey on you to try to make some money off of your unfortunate situation.
If you're in a car accident, your phone may ring non-stop with clinics and car shops wanting to help you out. And waiting in the wings, a lawyer. San Antonio is a hotbed for ambulance chasing by lawyers who are finding ways to get around laws forbidding it.
We'll begin with a story you're seeing first on WUSA 9, a bribery scheme involving D.C. police. A Maryland man is going to prison for bribing police employees for giving him personal and confidential information.
Dallas police records clerk on paid leave since March is now refusing to answer any questions under oath about her alleged involvement in an ambulance chasing scheme.
Reporter Brian New tonight with new information in a story the I-Team broke a few weeks ago.
That's right. Margarita Monjaras has been under investigation for several months, accused of illegally funneling car crash information to a local law firm looking for clients.
Now, I don't want to say that the term doesn't exist. It's a true term. It's real, and it has some meaning to it. But I want you to really think about it. Who's going to help you get paid to cover these things? Because when you're staring at the medical debt, when you're missing paychecks because you're out of work, and your back doesn't move the same, you don't have that spring in your step as you once did, someone's got to be there to help you litigate. So when we think about access to justice, we got to think about this contingency fee thing and how much value it provides, because justice isn't free. I mean, think about it. Imagine you were hurt. Maybe you got into an accident, maybe you fell somewhere, and you try to go and find an attorney. And you find an attorney, you say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Attorney, I fell, I broke my leg, I went to the hospital, and these are my bills, and I want to do something about it. And the attorney looks at you and says, okay, I can help you. I'm going to need a $10,000 retainer. and I'm gonna charge you $300 by the hour to work your case, or maybe more. To the average person, that's gonna be a non-starter, because not everybody has $10,000 laying around and money to continue fighting the fight. So there's a lot of people who might say, well, you know, that attorney's just money hungry, but they're forgetting the fact that if the client's not gonna pay for these things up front, that somebody has to. Because if you want a seat at the table to fight, to litigate, you need money. And if you don't have money, then you need somebody with money to cover the upfront cost for you. So a lot of people don't see that the attorney that's paying the filing fee to start your case, right? That's paying the fees for the motions. That's paying the fee for the expert. That's paying for the expert report. All that usually gets upfronted by an attorney. And in most states, most attorneys aren't able to reach out to someone who's been injured until like after 30 days. And, you know, that's a morality kind of thing, right? When you think about it, it's a morality kind of thing in the sense that somebody just got hurt, they're injured, they need time to recover, which should really be their main focus anyways, before seeking an attorney to move their case forward. But we really got to start thinking about how we perceive things and our perspective of attorneys who help out people who are hurt or injured. Because until you're the one that's placed in that situation where you need someone to act on your behalf, to advocate, to litigate on your behalf, to move your case forward, to get you some kind of remedy, to go against that big insurance company with deep pockets, it's really important to think about that person that's doing that for you and that's helping you get there. It's bigger than, oh, that they're just chasing the money, or it's a frivolous lawsuit, or they're an ambulance chaser, whatever the case is. It's more so about, until you're in that position where you're staring down medical debt and you're missing paychecks from work, and maybe you have a mortgage and the bank doesn't care what happened to you, it just cares about your money. You ever seen in that film when it's Goodfellas, when he's like, F you, pay me? There's a lot of F you, pay me's out there that just want their money. It doesn't matter what's going on with you, what happened to them. Life moves on, life keeps going. F you, pay me, right? And you gotta comply, because there's consequences if you don't. And even if you did have the money, right, $10,000, $50,000 laying around to move your case along, you gotta think about the time that you're losing. Because when you're injured, it's not like life goes back to normal. You're out of commission for a little bit. So it's not just like you're losing money, you're also losing your time. Also, let's talk about a situation where access to justice is free. I'll give you an example. Ohio, body cam cameras. You remember body cam cameras? They're still around. It came out a couple years ago to hold police accountable for the work that they do in society, and also to see if they're doing what they need to be doing and if they're doing it properly, right? A way to keep an eye on local government and its agencies. But say something did happen, right? In Ohio, you would have to pay up to $750, right? Because it's charged $75 by the hour to view body cam footage. Now, you would think something like this would be free, right? Like, we need to seek the truth. We need to find out what happened. Why is there a cost to that? And it's not so black and white, right? I mean, people have to copy. There's people that have to spend time doing that, sending the copy, whatever it may be in terms of why there needs to be a price. But I'm just using that to highlight to you, like, it's not free. There's things are always going to cost. Even if you think, oh, it's the right thing to do, this whole thing that we're in the system is not so much about exactly what's the right thing to do. It's not so clear cut. It's more so just about what's the situation, what's the fact. The fact is, you need something, you're gonna have to pay for it. It's gotta be an exchange.